Hey there, Car 3D tube. Let's go. This is Cinema 4D again. It's for my students. So I'm going to just do some freeform modeling here, just to further give them a good feel for the tools here. Let's move my viewport over here. Slide that over. Right about there. Make you editable. Pick polygons. Pick delete. Actually, let me back up. Undo. Okay, before I delete that, here's a little shortcut you can use. I've picked it. Axis is centered on my selection. I'll just zero that out now, so I don't have to go through the nonsense of using UL and selecting the edges. Now I'll delete it. Okay. Let's see. Symmetry. There we go. UL. No, wait. Just hit spacebar. Just use the knife tool. Loop. There we go. Give that some sections. Cool. I should have used the boxes tool for creating sections at first, but hey, it's okay. Let's start moving stuff around. This could be a jaw. Oops. I know this is not exciting, but it's part of the deal. For me, modeling it can be very zen-like. You get into like a groove and you lose track of time, and it's just very creative. Okay. I'm remaining in doing all that you just saw. I'm remaining in live selection mode, which is this guy right here. And you select something, it automatically gives it an axis and you can move it around. So that was nice. I didn't have to go back and forth for each process, constantly hitting, selection, then move mode. That's a bit of a time saver. Okay, let's give this guy a proboscis, a nose. I'm going to go to line mode. Spacebar. I know this does look like it has horrible polygon flow, but it's early yet. So when I was talking about box mode, you can see I started with a box, but eventually much of it is just going to get ripped up and redone as needed by the polygon flow, so that these loops flow along the features of the face. Knife. Spacebar. Edge mode. Knife. Oh, knife fail. Hey. It seems to be refusing to knife there. Knife. There. Ah. Knife. I think I might have a hole there or something. No, it's alright. Now this is different here. I selected the knife mode and now I just clicked in the middle of the polygon, so it's like putting a... Actually, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Maybe it doesn't work that way. Works in silo. Oh well. Alright, let's just do it this way. If it wants to be obstinate. It's continuing to be obstinate. I had to restrict the selection on, that was a problem. Modeling in cinema is not fun. I do feel for you. I do. Oops. Okay. Now, let's pick this polygon right here, and we will extrude that to be his nostril. Okay, that was not the right keystroke. Unfortunately, I'm hitting the U button, but my screen recorder is blocking it out. So that's not cool. I'll just have to dig in the menu. There we go. Extrude. I think what you do here is you click outside of your polygons and drag. Yep. So it's a little different. Well, it's not different for you. You haven't been exposed to anything yet, but it's a little different from what I'm used to. Spacebar to get out of extrude mode. So keep that in mind. You have to drag outside of, back and out in the empty area where there's no polygons. see, I'm going to pick this polygon here, and no. Okay, I got to lower my radius. Not increase it, I want to lower it. Let's type it in that way. Jeez. There we go. Just want to bring those two closer together. By the way, I was using Shift Select, holding the Shift button down, clicking on a second item to multi-select things. Knife. I have a habit of hitting the right mouse button when I'm done with an operation because that's the way Silo does things, but Cinema don't play that way. Knife. Okay, I'm going to add a layer of subdivision so I can jump back and forth and check out how that's looking. After I bring this in a little bit. Hypernerve subdivisions. Potato, tomato, potato, potato. There we go. So we got the beginnings of a nose here. Let's turn that off. Another thing I want to show you is when you have something selected, you'll notice that the arrows line up with the world. Well, that's not the only option you have. Let me show you over here. If you go to Coordinate System, maybe it's over here. Let's see. Okay, it might be in the move mode. So let's first click on move. Remember, this is also the E key, E-R-T, move, rotate, and scale. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Orientation axis. If you choose normal right here, then you can see that the axis is aligned to the normals of the polygons. Now, just in case you don't know what a normal is the direction that the polygon faces. So you can see that the blue line is sticking straight out from the average of all the polygons flowing into this point, if that makes sense. So what you can do is use that to adjust how much it's sticking out or dented, which is great for tweaking things, especially when you're getting close to wrapping things up. You want to make sure that you got a nice smooth curve around your profile. And when I say profile, I don't mean just right here, I mean anywhere, at any angle. See right here, we got the line going this way, but then it's like straight between these two edges, and then so you just adjust that and we got ourselves a smoother curve, just like that. And also, to a lesser extent, if you choose this bracket right here, which is using these two axes, you kind of sorta get the ability to move it along the surface, although not really. It's only moving along this plane. There is a slide option. Let me show you that. If I can remember where it is. Here it is, slide. This is pretty cool. I mean, every program has this, but I must admit, I will give credit where credit is due. Cinema's slide function is kind of nifty, because when you click on a point, you can choose which edge it's going to move down. So basically, it's a way of moving the points, but restricting it to an edge. So, oops. Something like that. So it's a really nice tool for tweaking. Now I don't know if, yeah, I don't think slide lets you do multi-select, and that is one shortcoming, because in other programs you can do a slide, you can pick edges. Yeah, I think you're just restricted to one. Actually, I can't even select it because this thing is selected. Let's get out of slide mode. Let's see if I can multi-select. Come on, guys. Okay. Spacebar again. Back in slide mode. Yeah, only one at a time. So that's unfortunate. But it's better than nothing, I guess. Let's get back in move mode. Okay. Let's add another layer around here to give that a pinch or a crease along this feature. Can't even see the box. It's hidden underneath the geometry. I'll just use this. Okay. I'm putting that back on 0. So there's different ways you can do this. Let's go into edge mode, select some edges, and choose bevel. Remember, you drag outside the model. So there's your bevel. Obviously there's a weirdness going on here, but we can move that back. Spacebar to get out of bevel mode. Let's go into point mode. There we go. Now, I don't know if there's 2 points on top of each other here or what. Nope. Ah, sorry. Control Z. Okay. So now when I look into subdivision, hypernerds, whatever, you can see it's got a sharper curve there. And we can further enhance that by adding even more geometry as I go along. I'm going to add one right here. Notice that I generally don't do a lot of editing while in subdivision mode. I may move stuff around, but I like to see the raw geometry so I could see what it will be basing all of its smooth operations off of. Let's see how long I've been recording. 21 minutes. And knife tool. I'm not too concerned about the existence of triangles right now. I like to work out my polygon flow, and then later on I will optimize the layout and hide my triangles or merge them together. There we go. We're getting some more nose-like qualities here. So it made a whole mess of stuff here that I really don't need. Let me show you the merge tool. Let me show you the melt tool while I'm at it. The melt tool will let you get rid of the edge inside between two polygons. So this is become one polygon right here, right there. Let's see, maybe I don't need the merge tool right now. Yeah, let's merge these 2 points here. Let's see, where did merge go? Wonderful. Is it possible they don't have merge in this program? There are ways around that. Yeah, weld would do it. I mean, dissolve. Yeah. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Poor kitties. Okay. Knife tool. Let's do some more knifing. Time for some more knifing. Oops. Decided not to center my rotation on the polygons. Starting to look good. I'm going to get out of normal mode here, because when I'm working along the edge, I like to be able to be in axis mode so that I know when I click this and move things around that this is going to stay at 0, so I don't have to keep correcting that. Okay, that's good. Let's put some more definition in here. Knifey knife. I'm going to increase my selection radius just a little bit. Okay. Now, one thing I've noticed is when people make noses, they do it like that. It's just this part of the flesh just kind of loops around, makes a complete circuit. And that's fine for cartoon characters. I'm not going to fault anybody for doing a cartoon character like that. But when it comes to real noses, that's not the case. So let me show you a little something here. This goes up here. Knife. Nope. Try that again. There we go. This lip, this ridge comes around here. This curls up and inside. And then this part, it goes down like that. Obviously there are deviations in proportions for everybody. Everybody's a little different, but that's essentially how it works. Knife. I'm going to turn that single mode off because it's annoying me. I can do a continuous knife. That's better. Now, I want to see through there, so I'm going to go to display mode and just choose lines. Now I can see through it. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes I find myself just constantly rotating the view just so I can get a grasp on the actual shapes. When you're in line mode, you don't have the advantages of seeing everything shaded, but sometimes you don't have that luxury because just too many minute details are blocked by other big polygons that have to get their big fat polygons in the way. Okay, I gotta start optimizing this. I'm getting just way too many triangles here. Tools, mesh. I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference and it's getting better all the time. It's probably a song you never heard of. Okay, it's time for a cross-section to appear right there. Okay, inside the nostril is not so important because we really can't see in there too well. It's dark and hairy. Well, sometimes it's hairy. For us real flesh and blood people, it's hairy, but for these cartoons, it's not always hairy. Maybe I should stop talking about how hairy a nose is. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's starting to look pretty good here. I'm gonna put hypernerves on and see how this is shaping up. Pretty cool. Obviously it's a horror movie outside the nose, but the nose itself, not too bad. Yeah, see? That's a pretty good nose. I think these nostrils should go in a little deeper. Another thing to note on the subject of hypernerbs or subdivisions or whatever you want to call them, there are different methods of applying that. In Lightwave, for example, let's turn that back on. I can't see. Oh, I didn't have the cube selected. I mean the model is called cube here, but it's really a grossly unfinished face. So anyway, hypernerbs, subdivisions. It's pretty clear to me that Cinema 4D uses a method called Catmull-Clark, which lets it do its smoothing effect over any kind of polygon, even if a polygon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points around it. That's all good. But an older style would only work with 3 or 4 polygons. Anything more than that would not get the effect on it. It would look all torn up and awful. And the reason why this is important is because if you're going to work with a program like ZBrush, you will not have that luxury. It does not support Catmull-Clark. So you will need to make sure that there are no polygons with more than 4 sides, 4 points, when you are finishing up your model. It doesn't matter right now too much, but when later on when you want to get this all finished up. I was going to extrude this, wasn't I? Mesh. Where'd it go? Extrude. I can't extrude here because there's... There we go. Actually, I was extruding the wrong direction, but that's okay. That looks really strange, doesn't it? Like he's got his nose plugged up. Let's move that back. There we go. I'm going to choose T button for scale and just kind of shrink that down some. Just go to point mode and just kind of cut this up a little bit with the knife. Again, this is a triangle, but I don't care because it's way up in the nostril and it's unlikely anybody's going to stick a camera up there unless they're into that. But you know, I can't fault them if they're into that, but I'm not going to do that. And of course, if you want to be really... Why can't I select you? Oh, only select visible elements. Turn that off. Stupid feature. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, you could also use a weight map or a texture to make it get pitch black in there. Even if the camera looks up there, it's not going to see anything. It just goes to black because that's the way it's textured. Oh, we got some overlappage here. Let's put that back on 0. There we go. So yeah, we're going pretty good here. I'm just going to finish the nose up and then call it a video. I think this is a pretty nice tour, or well, it's part tour and part tutorial. Let's see what we're going to do about this polygon flow issue here. I think I'll make another section right here. Oh, Cinema's up to its old tricks again. I rotate it. It's not centered anywhere near where I want to look. There we go. Problem solved. It's almost like a little puzzle, working out the best way to get all these polygon loops to flow into each other without creating unnecessary triangles. Let's put the shaded back on there. You can go inside there a bit. Yeah, I gotta fix this. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to point something out. Right here, this is a point with 5 lines coming out of it. Now let's turn on HyperNerd, see what that looks like. This might not be such an issue in this program. Yeah, it looks alright, Of course, Catmull Clark does do a better job than the old style. I can't remember the name of the old style. But points with 5 lines going into it. In Lightwave, for example, I've noticed it creates a little star pattern in the shading, but when it renders it's fine. On the other hand, a point with 6 lines going into it, after it's gone through the subdivision process and it renders, it will give you an artifact, a visual artifact. You'll get like you can kind of see where those edges are. And so in some programs, I don't know if Cinema is going to be the case because it might be purely Catmull Clark, but in some programs you may run into a situation where you need to avoid points with 6 lines or more. So that's that. Anyway, we got a cute little nose, cute little button nose. It's certainly not a big Italian nose like mine, but actually the lip around here it's a little sharp. I could probably spend time softening that up, but I think this is sufficient for a demonstration. So I hope that helps you out. Any questions, let me know. And I'll see you next week.